first, thank you so much for having me. Collaborating, chatting, and just talking with cool people. So that's one thing I love about the podcast space. So, like Lion mentioned, my name is Megan Shields. I am the CEO of Chime House Media, where we are a Facebook and Instagram ad specialist agency, and we work with business owners that are using podcasts to build and nurture their audience in their business to help them reach more people, get their content seen, grow their listenership, and build their email list of subscribers. So my husband and I actually run our business together. We started it back in COVID, and have been in full time in our business since early 2021. And we've worked with a lot of different businesses over the past few years. We've managed over $500,000 in ad spend. We've done a lot of live launching and different things like that. So we've worked in a large realm of strategies as far as Facebook and Instagram ads go. And now we are moving into specializing and working with podcasters specifically because we've realized that there is a very large gap in the opportunity for podcasters to really get out there and promote themselves. And it's heavily centered around organic and grinding things out organically. So I'm here to talk today about another opportunity that might help and accelerate the work that you're already doing.
I absolutely love that. And one of the things you just said just now that really kind of like brought a like bing to my head when like the light bulb. Remember the old moments in the movies we watched, the light bulb would come on, right? It's that thing in which you said that sometimes I kind of boil it down to this: we don't know what we don't know, right? We don't know that we need that space to help grow. And sometimes podcasters, we get in just thinking, hey, I'm the old adage, if you build it, they will come. And I don't think
Right.
that's directly true in the podcasting world. Just because,
Yeah, or business in general.
right, right, you need that strategy in a strategic session. And that's one of the things that I found for me once I started into this realm of podcasting, because I was like that. I was like, hey, I'll just talk and people will eventually find me and learn. But it's no, you need a strategic plan. And especially when you have someone who's been out there and they've done it before. So you said you started this roughly in that COVID area with your husband. How did it was it one of those things born out of necessity, or did you just one day say, you know what, I think my skills can translate to someone else in this industry? Take a moment and break that down for us.
Yeah. So the how did we get started question. So my background is actually in sales, business development, marketing. I was recruiting and hiring and developing sales teams in my corporate life. And in doing that, I was utilizing platforms like LinkedIn to build my book of business and be able to build relationships. And so I had a lot of experience in doing that. And when I was thinking of starting like a side hustle during COVID, it was actually on the heels of that and what I was doing in my corporate life. And then I ended up learning Facebook and Instagram ads because I thought it would all work very well together. And so I got a course and I started my business. And the LinkedIn stuff that I was doing actually fell to the wayside because there was such a demand for, Facebook and Instagram ads, especially during the COVID era, because a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, I don't have a big enough presence online. All of a sudden when you're, selling your products in a brick and mortar or whatever it is, a lot of people were just looking to focus and that time frame. And so that piece just sort of took off and we've been doing it ever since.
It's one of those things that I think, in some ways, whatever happened during this pandemic was a curse and a blessing, right? It forced
Yes.
us to say we gotta pivot. The old oh, what's that part in Friends when they were taking the couch up? I don't know if you ever see that.
Yeah.
So the famous
Oh,
scene,
I
they're like,
love that show.
pivot, pivot, right? We have to
Yes.
be able to pivot within your business, within whatever we're doing.
Mhm.
And I think that really pushed some people to learn to say, you know what, I've got to think outside of the box. I've got to say, I have to find another strategy to enhance what I'm working towards. And I absolutely love that. And so now, podcasters in general, what in the world made you guys say that's a niche who we want to maybe focus on, because you could have went to someone who was running a cupcake store and
Right.
whatever. What made you guys kind of focus directly in that industry?
Yeah. So it's really interesting. So, a really good friend of mine who has a podcast and also coaches podcasters came to me and he was like, "Hey, no one is doing Facebook ads for podcasters specifically. And there's three things that podcasters care about. They want their content to get seen, they want to grow their email list, and they want to get more downloads on their show. Can you create a Facebook ad strategy to address those things? And we'll test it, we'll see how it works. And then, from there, we'll talk about it on my show and so on and so forth." So we did this test earlier this year and we had a lot of success with it. So we ran ads for about 9 days. We only spent $155. And in that time, we were able to get 100 downloads of one of his episodes. We were able to add 17 people to his email list, and we were able to increase his social reach on Facebook and Instagram by like 30%. And so we saw a huge opportunity there. And it was kind of like the cart before the horse. Like we tested it and then we're like, oh my gosh, now we have this product and this offer. But now I've been doing so much market research in the past 2 weeks as we're moving into this niche, and really just finding out that there is so much of a need, just even from an education standpoint, on different ways that you can leverage ads to do this. So it kind of fell into my lap. But it's been really cool learning more about this niche, and I'm really excited to do more work in it.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like how you said, sometimes a problem is the solution and the answer in which we need to be able to fix it. And what I mean by that is, right, they came to you and he said, "Hey, I am a podcaster. I know I would like this kind of a thing. So if I need it, I'm sure other people need it." So they kind of sparked that in you by an issue that they would have been going through. And that's the mother, what is it called? The mother of all inventions. Necessity is the mother of all inventions, or something like that,
Mm.
the saying goes.
Yeah.
But they needed it, and then you guys figured out a way to work it and to get that in there. Now, I know some
Yes.
people are listening right now and they're probably saying, you know what? I'm hearing you talk about this, and they might not even know directly what the Facebook ads or Instagram's ads are. They probably see it, but they don't know what it is. So let's start off by the basics and break it down. What are those, and how are they? Well, no, let's just start off first by just going, what are those?
Yes. So when it comes to ads, we've really been trying to help people understand it a little bit better and thinking about it in a way of like sponsored content. So it's not really like an ad where, you come on TV and you're like, "Hey, buy this product, 1999." Ads on Facebook and Instagram are a lot more dynamic. And so think of them as sponsored content. It's a way to put money behind some of the content that you're already creating, and getting the opportunity to put your brand, put your offers or your lead magnets in front of people who are scrolling on Facebook and Instagram. So there's a lot of opportunity to get seen by a lot of folks on both of those platforms because they are so huge.
And that's one of the important things right there that you were just talking about, right? Because we see them all the time when we're scrolling. Sometimes we just don't
Hmm.
know that they're targeted to us. And that's something that I'm slowly
Yeah.
learning, that these things, they, we say it and we don't even notice it sometimes. We'll joke around and we'll say, "Is my phone listening to me? How did it know
I
that,
know.
that I was thinking about this at the moment?" Right? There's
Hmm.
strategic in targeting us for these things. And I think that's an important thing for people to learn and get from this conversation, is that, and please at any point help correct me if I'm kind of gearing it off to the wrong place, but to know that the work that you and your company would be doing is helping them understand how to gear it towards a specific category or listenership, because maybe they might run an ad and that ad goes to 60,000 people, but
Hmm.
50,000 of those people aren't in their wheelhouse, or their, what their
Yes.
listenership would kind of be at. So Let's say if someone's listening
Hmm.
right now and they're saying, you know what, I can understand a little bit of what she's talking about. I feel like I could use that service. How is it that they can maybe know more that they need your services, that they need your company, you and your husband's work? How do you feel? How do you reach someone and say, hey, you're someone who can benefit from us?
Yeah. So I want to talk for a second about what you just mentioned about the targeting and that sort of thing, because that's really the power of Facebook ads. So if you're, grinding it out organically, promoting your show, posting it on social media, I mean, you really have no control over the people that are going to see it. You can't say, well, I have a podcast about business mindset. And when I post on Facebook and Instagram, I only want people that care about business mindset to see it. There's really no way to do that. Facebook ads allows you to have more of a controlled group of people who are more likely to be interested in your lead magnet topic or your podcast topic, because you have the opportunity to target. Now, that being said, to get to the second half of your question, Facebook has changed a lot. I mean, even from 2020, it's a completely different platform, but things are happening every day on the back end as it relates to data privacy, regulation, how data is being gathered and used to target people on online platforms. So, when it comes to audience building, that is something that is changing all the time, where targeting options that might have been there before are no longer there, or Facebook is now favoring different size audiences versus another size audience. So a lot of times when people are trying to do their own ads, this is where it can get a little sticky if you're trying to navigate it by yourself, because unfortunately, what has happened with all the changes in Facebook, it has made the gap larger between, running ads and regular people having the ability to actually do it. And so now it's to a point where I definitely recommend that people get professional help in getting this stuff set up, because it can go the wrong way, or you could end up wasting money just by missing something in the ad setup and things like that. That Facebook sneaks things in there sometimes. And so, one of the ways that you can learn a little bit more about how to leverage Facebook ads when you have a podcast is we have a free downloadable PDF that is 3 ways to use Facebook ads to grow your podcast without breaking the bank. And you have the opportunity to read through that, get a little bit more familiar, and learn about how you can actually leverage this platform for your podcast and your business.
Oh my goodness, I just caught on for a second. So anyone who's watching this as well, make sure you check out the screen because here is the link, and we'll make sure all of those are in the show notes that you can be able to see this, right? But I'm gonna touch on something that I just caught on to as I'm starting to learn this because I've been researching a lot. But here is the page in which you can go and grab the PDF. That you're able to do everything that Megan just said, and it's chimehousemedia.com, and I think it's a backslash grow. Yes, GROW.
Forward
But we will
slash
make
grow. Yeah.
forward slash, excuse me. See, those things confuse me. Forward slash.
That's okay.
As many years are still back forward, but forward slash
Oh, I get
grow.
it.
But we will make sure all of those are in the show notes. And I am extremely excited about that because you just did something that I'm learning, and I'm really intrigued about going into learning about what you were just talking about as well, because how you said Facebook changes so much, maybe Instagram changes so much, right? The algorithm. And as I was starting to learn, maybe I've got 500 people, for an example, on my list of friends, and not even, I don't even know. I want to say maybe if I put a post, maybe 25 of those people might see what I just wrote on my regular post. I'm thinking,
Hmm.
though, as a user, hey, everyone's seeing my post. If 500 people just saw me say, hey, my child is having a birthday party, who may want to come? That's not the case, right?
Hmm. Yeah. The crazy thing about it is that even your followers, so like Instagram specifically, even people that follow you that are interested enough to see your content and listen to what you have to say, still don't see your stuff. Like organic reach right now is less than 1%. It's the lowest that I have seen it in years. So a lot of people are struggling to not only reach a new audience, but reach the people that are already in their audience as well.
And I think that's okay for me. Sometimes, as a patron, as someone who uses the platform, we kind of sit back and maybe frustrated on that, and we're thinking, "Hey, I want everyone to see this," but at the same point, in the same token, we have to look at it as they are a business as well, and they provide us a free service to use their platform, but they're also interested in
Yep.
making money, and so they know that, hey, if you want this to be seen more, especially specifically if you're using it to potentially make money, then, in some ways, let's do business together. So I can kind of see that. So
Hmm.
absolutely. And kind of to touch on what you said a second ago in reference to, there was a post that was done a little bit earlier, and I read that to you, and what someone said, they worked with the ads before, but they didn't get the results and was hoping that they were hoping for in the past, and they're thinking about revisiting that. And I think that's an important thing that you touched on, because if they do it maybe 4 or 5 times and they don't get results that they're hoping for, they may get that feeling of like, I give up, instead of
Hmm.
looking for the proper way of doing it and finding a coach, finding a company that can do it for them. Do you run into that often? People who get burnt out maybe from running ads and then they finally reach out to you?
Yes, a lot. And it's getting, and it's becoming more prevalent now because of all the changes that have happened. So people that, have run ads, maybe they ran ads last year and had some success, are now like, this looks completely different. Things are different than they were before. Like, I'm not really seeing the same results. So it's a very dynamic platform that is changing every single day. But there's a lot of components to making Facebook ads successful, from, the messaging to the videos or the images that you're using, and then the targeting specifically, and then the overall strategy. So it's one of those things that, like, if one of those pieces is off, it can really throw off the whole equation and then lead to, subpar results or none at all, which of course is extremely frustrating.
Yeah, and I always try to tell this to people sometimes when they're thinking about, what's the word I'm looking for? I've read this maybe about a month ago, so I'm still learning kind of what it is, but imposter syndrome. I never knew what that was. I never heard about that, right? But
Hmm.
maybe some people are thinking, I don't deserve it. I don't deserve people to hear my voice in the podcast world. But if you got a story to tell, there's someone out there to listen. But then, even more so with that, they're thinking, well, if I put finance into this, if I invest into my business by doing this, uh, I'm not going to get that return back. And I tell them, you need to get those gremlins off of you. Swat that gremlin
Yeah.
away, right? That's that gremlin that's telling you, you can't do it. He's on your shoulder. No, you can't do it. So maybe I mean, because there's never, well, let me say never. I would probably say I guess I can kind of use it. There's never that certainty that we're going to always get the results that we want. But except if we don't do anything, then we
Right.
definitely are not going to get the results,
Yeah.
right? So, what are some ways that you can, maybe someone who's listening who has that in their mindset that says, hey, you know what, I don't know if this will work for me if I do this? Is there any kind of reassurance that you might pep them up and kind of let them know that, hey, you need to try it?
Yeah. So in business, there are a lot of gremlins like that. And it can be scary too, being like, oh my gosh, I'm going to put my stuff out there where thousands of people are going to be seeing this. But your voice does deserve to be heard. And at some point in pretty much everybody's business, there's only so much you can do organically, and you have to start spreading the net, moving your reach wider to have a larger impact and get more people into your world so you can help them with whatever it is that you do, whatever it is that service that you provide. Um, and so, from an ad standpoint and doing that and getting that done in an effective way, it's really just thinking about how you want to use them, but also managing expectations. There's an interesting thing in the Facebook ad space that is quite different compared to other marketing avenues. And that is that Facebook ads have been marketed like an ATM machine for far too long. And they used to be like that years ago. And I say years ago, and it's not even that long ago. Like I'm talking like 2018. That's how much it's changed. But years ago, there weren't any data privacy regulations and things that are happening that are going on right now. Anyone could really run an ad and be profitable. You just slap a conversion campaign out there, and there you go. But because of what is changing right now, people are kind of in that weird space where they're thinking it should be an ATM, but it's not necessarily working that way because strategies have changed and consumers have changed. And so there's a lot of different pieces to it. But the biggest thing when it comes to Facebook ads is just managing expectations, but also know like when you're putting money behind this stuff, it is guaranteed to be seen. Like your stuff will be seen. There's no way that it's not going to happen. So it's a guaranteed result in that way that you are going to get more eyeballs, you are going to get more reach. But it's just managing expectations and having sort of a strategy of like, okay, well, what do I want to get from this piece of my marketing strategy? Because Facebook ads shouldn't be all the things that you're doing, right? Like you're doing a lot of different stuff. You're cross promoting, you're going live on Instagram, you're promoting on Facebook or to your email list. There's a lot of different ways that you're already getting your voice out there. So it's managing your expectations and what you want this sliver of the pie to do for you and how it's going to fit into your overall goal in your business.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I think, especially for podcasters, right? Because okay, most people come into the podcasting world, kind of like myself. My wife and I, we went into the podcast world right during the pandemic. So we call it pandemic podcasters, right? We didn't have anything to do. And we bought a Yeti mic, and then we were both talking into it, and there was echoes, and we didn't know what we were doing and everything. So, but we slowly learned to progress and to say, hey, if we're going to do this, then we need to put in time and effort, and understanding that um, this can be a beneficial thing because I heard you mention it a few times, but I think sometimes it passes people by that they can use the podcast as a vehicle for their business, right? Sometimes people they get on the podcast world and it's like, oh, maybe I'll just talk about something, and that's great. There are podcasts out there that help people through things and in certain niches, but it can be a great way to look at it as a leveraged radio station, a leveraged
Mm-hmm.
commercial ad that now you can target specific people, specific demographics for your product, right? Is that
Mm-hmm.
something that you think that people don't notice when they first come into that realm?
Yes. So from what I have found, it's kind of like a two-part thing. Like they don't really necessarily notice or realize that they can use a podcast in a business sense, but then also like from the ads piece too, that it can both really be so powerful to, and again, it comes down to strategy, right? Like a marketing plan and a marketing strategy for your business because podcasts are so powerful, so powerful in building authority and relationships and all these things, and helping your listeners and then getting the opportunity to reach them on a weekly basis, is super powerful from a marketing perspective. And so using it in your business, if you're not doing that, you are definitely missing out.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna tell you, I didn't know anything about that when I first. My listeners know I'm very transparent. I make mistakes. I don't know, and I'm very open about that, right? And so I started finding that out, and I was like, wait a second, what? Wait, what happened? How did I not know that I should mention every episode this about my business, every time mention this about my business? And I
Hmm.
see that we just had someone mention something. It's not coming up, but it says, can these methods be used for real estate, for an example? So I'm going to assume yes, because it's a specific, even if it's even though it's a specific um, company or industry, yeah, industry, it can be used for anything, I would think. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. So the only trick with real estate is it depends on how you're going to use the ad. So real estate is called like a special ad category. So any ads that have to do with credit, finance, housing, and employment are always they're limited in how you can target because you can't discriminate. If someone is looking for a
Mm.
home or if someone's looking for a job. And so with real estate, some ads fall under that category and some don't. So it just depends. But if you're talking like you have a real estate podcast, then yeah, definitely this can work.
Okay, yeah, I think that's really great, and I appreciate you for saying that because I'm sure if it's ads, there's some still rules, still regulations, and everything that people still have to kind of follow and everything like that. So make sure um, if you're running ads out there, listen, check, make sure you're doing everything right. Don't come back and say, "Well, I listened to this podcast and they told me." No, listen, do your due diligence and make sure you
Hmm.
follow things up. Or why don't you just hire a company like hire Megan and they can do it for you and make sure that everything's done, above board. What are some other thoughts that you have that you feel that the importance of why they need to have a coach or a company or someone be involved in it versus them just doing it? Because I know there's people right now still thinking, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. I'm still, hey, you can do that, but can you kind of tell them the importance of why that, not that they should not do it themselves, but why they need to involve someone to help them?
Yeah, I definitely recommend at this stage in the game with Facebook and Facebook ads or Meta, same thing. Because literally the interface inside where you are building ads changes every day. There are little boxes in there that they slip in that they will check that you won't notice, or a person of an untrained eye versus me who's in there every day all the time, you won't notice that it's checked, but what it's going to do is it's going to hinder your results. And there's a lot of little weird nuances that are like that now in the platform that you just otherwise won't know. And then that can affect your results. Obviously, you're spending money and then you're not getting the results that you like. It's just very, it's not super user friendly as a platform. And there's just a lot of weird intricacies in there that if you're not used to being in there and you don't understand how the platform works or what it's going to do, you might leave those things checked or uncheck them. And then you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot before you even start the race. So it's a very delicate time right now with Facebook advertising. And so that's why I just recommend that people bring in someone that knows what's going on in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and that person said, "Thank you very much for that information." I'm thinking the
Yes, you
same
are so
thing.
welcome.
Yeah, make sure you contact her though. Matter of fact, go to, because I just did it. The Chime House Media, one of those slashes backslash, right? I
Forward
got it.
slash.
Forward. Oh, I gotta write it down. Forward.
Yes,
Go always go forward.
chatmousemedia.com/grow.
And sign up for the for the free PDF because I just did it. I just did it because I'm interested in learning that
Good.
too. And I'm definitely going to be working towards using your company. And because I know, because so here's what I did. Because when my wife and I started our podcast right during the pandemic, it was just that, hey, we needed something to do. We weren't really big into it like that, and it helped out. And then my son, he got involved. He's 9 years old, and
Oh,
his is
cool.
called ADHD is my superpower, and so he has ADHD, and we use that as a way to help him talk with other kids who have it and tell his
Love
day
that.
and his week. And so now we have a family of podcasters. And as time started growing, I was like, you know what? Maybe I could use this in a sense as a business to help us. So now I'm getting more serious about it. So as that point, I'm like, I got to start to learn how to promote and to use things better. And one of the things I'm going to ask you to touch on as well, because I heard you say this earlier, is that, and everyone listening, we've been saying Facebook mostly, but this kind of applies to Instagram as well because Meta is still
Yes, yeah.
the
I should
parent
have
company.
prefaced that in the beginning. And Meta, Facebook, and Instagram. When I say Facebook, it's both.
Yeah. So yeah, so it still goes there. So don't think that just because we happen to say Facebook more than Instagram, whatever, you can still use this because I know some people use that platform way more specifically for different things. So you can use this for all of that.
Hmm.
Got it. So, um, but one of the things that you mentioned earlier, and I've been learning in my research, this is that since they change things so often, for all of the podcasters out there, that people who ask me sometimes, well, how do I get this and how do I get that? I still go back to, because one of the people I listen to, well, actually two big people I listen to are Pat Flynn, if anyone knows Pat Flynn out there, and Amy Porterfield, and they talk big time about email lists because that is one
Mhm.
thing that you can control, right? The Meta and all the rest of them change the algorithm, but building your email list. So is that an important factor as well that you kind of? I don't think your company maybe focuses on that, or if it does, please let us know. But can you touch on the importance of that? You know, how do you guys structure that and anything?
Yes. So email lists in general. So I'm a big Amy Porterfield fan. I went through Digital Course Academy. I'm very familiar with her and her love of email marketing. You're absolutely right. It's the one thing that you own. So no matter what's going on with these social platforms, you have a list of people that you can communicate with. But as a podcaster, it's even more powerful because not only are these people on your list because they've opted in, which means that they're interested in some sort of capacity. But you can promote shows, you can promote the guests that are going to be on your shows, your upcoming shows. It really gives you that intimate line of one to one connection with people in your audience. And so using Facebook ads to build email lists is one of our specialties. And we do it pretty much for every single one of our clients. They all have email lists. And so using it to get your freebie out there, or whatever it is that you used for your list, your downloadable or your checklist, your guide, whatever it is, and getting it in front of a targeted audience and help build your email list on autopilot because ads run 24 hours a day. And so while you're out promoting and while you're out recording podcasts and doing the things in your business, it's running in the background and then building that audience of people that you can continue to convert in your business over time. So, yeah, email lists are super powerful. And, the ROI on email lists is like 4,400% or something crazy. So, it's definitely not a strategy to be overlooked.
Definitely not. If you could do anything to work to get your list, your listenership up, whatever it is, you got to think about it. It's your business, right? You've got to do what you got to do. We just had someone, I think, Facebook user said this information has been so helpful. I can't wait to reach out to you and so forth. So,
Oh,
hey,
wonderful. Thank
hey,
you.
yes, you have to push
So
forward.
glad.
Yeah, you have to push forward and go for it. So, I want to get ready to start to wrap things up and get things going because I know that it is such an important thing. Whoa, what is that thing? Wait, was I the only one who just saw that? No, wait a second.
You're
Nah, okay.
hallucinating. There's definitely not a zebra on the screen.
You know, that's right. Let me see. Oh, there. That's what I meant to push. The unicorn, the mythological unicorn. I pushed the button. I meant for that one to come up because people sometimes think it's a myth. I can't do so. I can't do that with my list or something. No, it's just you have to work whatever you do, right? All of these things have been tested, they've been tried. You have to just do it. As Shia LaBeouf would say, he would say, "Come on, Shia, hold on, I just pushed the button. Where's he at? Oh, there he goes. He's a little late. Come on, Shia, what do you say?
Do it!
Do it.
Just do it!
Just do it."
Don't let
Everybody starts at square one.
There you go, right? We all have the same opportunity. So let's go get ready to go ahead and kind of wrap things up here. And if you were to maybe summarize what you can offer these listeners, how they can reach out to you, what benefit they can get, can you bring it home for them so they understand the importance of, you know, being a part of your program, your company, even just kind of just coming by to see if it would work out for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we have created, which has been going really, really well with our clients in this niche of podcasting, is we have a podcast growth VIP day. And so what that is it is a one-to-one day where me or my husband Matt will work with you in your business from anywhere from 4 to 6 hours, and we will go through setting up this ad strategy for you. So we will create the ads, but we will also show you what we're doing and teach you and help you learn how to navigate the platform, and all of that to continue to run these ads yourself ongoing. So you get the professional expert help and setup, the opportunity to ask us Q&A. And then we also provide you 30 days of support. So the goal at the end of the day is to launch this ad strategy. And then as the ad strategy is going, we give you 30 days of support so you can get used to seeing, once results come in, what am I looking at? What does this mean? And then give you the opportunity to, of course, ask additional questions so that you feel comfortable in managing this ad strategy behind the scenes and ongoing. So it's not a typical digital marketing offer where, there is a retainer involved or a 6-month, contract. This is really the best of both worlds, where you get the opportunity and help to get it set up by an expert so that nothing is missed. But then it gives you the opportunity to learn and know that how you can use this going forward in your business without being scared and knowing what to do.
Don't be scared of those gremlins, ladies and gentlemen. They're gonna come, but brush them off, get them off there, right? So, let me see. I was just looking for one. Where is it? I had it set, but it just changed because you said something right there, and I was like, "Ooh, that makes so much sense." Let me see where to go. Let's see if it comes up. Let's see if it works. Here we go. Because nothing changes if nothing changes, right? We have got to do. Wait, why you cover my face up though? Screen. But you've got to do something, right? If you've been trying to run ads, if you've been trying to grow your listenership, your groups, whatever it is, you have to, like you said, I think it was 0.101 or whatever percentage you said, that it reaches. So you
Mm-hmm.
must change something, right? We got to do it. And so I definitely appreciate that. And I have one question for you, right? So as we get ready to wind this down, what do you feel you want, whether it's yourself in personal life or your company, people to remember you by?
Ooh, that's a good one. How I make them feel. I feel like I try to live my life in a way where I support other people and support their business, and then just make them feel good so they never feel like they're alone or struggling by themselves or the only people on the planet going through something. So, yeah, I think how I make them feel would be my answer. That's a good question, and I wasn't ready
Oh,
for
thank you. I try to throw a little surprise in it every once in a while, and
it.
that
Yeah, you
touches me
did.
so much because I remember, I think it was Maya Angelou who said, "People don't care what you know until they know that you care." Right? There are so many
Mm-hmm.
people out here who just, and I get it. We get bombarded with, sign up for this program, sign up my company, and do this, and usually it gives us a feel, or at least me, it gives me a feel of, you just want my money. I get it. I know you want money. That's essence of business. But I also want to know that you care. I also want to know that you want me to succeed, because by me succeeding, I can sense that from this whole conversation is what you're saying. By me succeeding, then you're my advertisement in a sense. You're going to automatically go out there and tell people, if someone asks you, "Hey, I saw that you were here and now you're growing. How's it happen?" "Hey, I did this and I did that." So I truly appreciate that. And ladies and
Mm-hmm.
gentlemen, all of these notes and everything is going to be in our show notes of how you can find out about Chime House Media and how you can reach out to Megan and her husband, and go through that program, is what she was saying. So any final words before we depart, and and anything last thing you want to leave the listeners with?
Hmm. I don't think in particular. Just thank you for having me. And I love a voice note. I love to connect. So find me on Instagram, say hey. I always love meeting new people. So, but other than that, I really appreciate you having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want you to hang with me for just 1 second. I'm gonna come back and close things out with you, but I want to make sure that I go ahead and let everyone know that we appreciate them. But I'm gonna come right back to you so that you and I can finish out everything. Okay? Thank you. So just hang with me
Sounds
one
good.
second. Yes, 1 second. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for coming to another episode of Just One Question. Again, that podcast that's working to help you scale from where you're at to where you want to be. We want you to continue pushing. We want you to continue growing. So if you have any questions out there, make sure you get in touch with us. Reach out to myself or our team, lionflood.com. That's LIONFLUDD.com. And this episode is being brought to you by Hustle 1977. For those who grind, you deserve to relax. So why not relax with a nice, smooth glass of Hustle brand whiskey? Reach out to us. And also, one final thing, we only have 3 more days in the month of July. So Ecamm, my big sponsor, thank you for them. 30% off for the entire year of Ecamm, but it has to be purchased in the month of July. I always say get it for the annual. You'll save big bucks that way instead of doing it monthly. But 30% off of Ecamm, the most powerful content streaming content out there. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. And again, make sure you keep living while you are alive.